I'm on the grind all the time. I'm on my grind. I'm on the grind. Yeah, I'm on the grind all the time. It's all the time. I'm on the grind. Yeah, I'm on the grind all the time. It's 9 to 9. I'm on the grind. Yeah, I'm on the grind all the time. I'm on my grind. I'm on the grind. Yeah. And knock knock, who that? It's Prez, who he? Big shot, cool cats, spit big facts. OG, kick rocks, get back, Mike Jack, Stanley, I stay dead like Ali, my bitch red, Black Cardi. I'm sorry, I'm always the life of the party. Niggas they wanna be me, and bitches wanna be my shawty. I keep a What up? It's me, Prez, back at you with a Real Ninjas review. Okay, and I'm back with the YouTube channel called Red Tree Crimes. I don't know, that is a weird name. I need to know why it's called Red Tree Crimes. It don't really flow off the lips, but they got a great channel. What they do is they create educational videos that showcase how police interact with the criminals behind the scenes. They are here to educate people in police tactics and psychology behind police interrogations. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get this video started. I will chime in as little as possible, but y'all know I can't stay quiet sometimes. So let's go.
It was another hot summer day for Police Sergeant Gary Morales as he patrolled Fort Pierce, Florida. At about 9:30 in the morning, Sergeant Gary initiated a traffic stop in a high drug traffic area. As he was calling in the stop, the driver stopped, exited the vehicle, and began firing a handgun in his direction. Before Sergeant Gary had a chance to unholster his weapon, a bullet had already taken his life. As the driver continued to fire his weapon, another police officer arrived on scene and fired back at the driver. The driver then decided to get back into his vehicle and drive away, but he would crash into a tree 3 blocks away. Witnesses would identify the driver as Areese Tisdale. Areese was a repeat offender for drug charges, and it wouldn't take very long for the police to find him and bring him in for interrogation.
Now my present life is gone. My former life.
What do you mean by that?
I'm here, basically, and so meaning that when I say that is basically I'm aware of the road ahead of me.
Look, you told the deputy that you came down with it. We don't know your story. That's what we're here to hear. Okay. We want your story. That's all.
My story is I don't have a license, and basically I have a baby on the way. My girlfriend's pregnant, and I just went to the store just to get her something. The officer. And like almost cut me off with the lights, kind of rammed me and tried to stop me, whatever. And I just didn't stop. And then by the time I did stop, he was like, "Get out of the car." And I was like, "For what?" And then other things happened. I'll just leave it at that. But
he was in his car. He was out of his car.
He got out of the car. First, he like kind of pulled me over. He kind of like forced me to pull over. And then he got out of the car and was like, "Get out of the car." You know what I mean? Like, it was like, "You didn't see the lights, get out of the car." And I did get out of the car. I left. And then
because you're afraid about your license.
I was afraid about a lot of things. But
that's what I want to hear. That's what we want to hear. What was you thinking? You know why he was stopping you?
That's maybe because of the dreads, black eye in the neighborhood. Maybe he didn't have any kind of nothing he can look forward. Maybe he didn't have nowhere to be. Maybe he thought I was suspicious. I don't know. But I seen lights.
Did you feel like he was harassing you? Is that what you're saying?
Basically.
Okay, I got you.
Basically, that was the whole thing. It was. I was doing nothing. I came from the store. I'm driving.
What road were you on when he got behind you?
Canna.
Okay. Headed towards US 1 or headed the other one?
Heading towards
Heading
US1.
towards US1? Okay. What store did you go to?
I was just going around towards the by the 7-Eleven, went in, and then when I turned around, he was like coming, and it was like he was like by the church over there on Canner, and he like made a U-turn, and
You weren't drinking or nothing. You hadn't been doing nothing wrong, right? That no drinking, no drugs. You weren't driving erratic, right? So tell me what you think. What do you think he pulled you over for? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I have no idea.
Were you wearing your seatbelt?
Yeah.
The tags on the car all good, up to
He
date?
didn't even get a chance to see my tag.
No.
By the time I turned in, he was coming this way, and he made a U-turn.
So you think he just kind of
I
saw
don't
you
know,
turn?
maybe I was just driving a little too, maybe I wasn't, like maybe I was just,
Yeah, right.
I had a window open, I was just driving and he, whoop.
Tint on the window, loud music,
No,
nothing.
that's the probably thing, no chance, the window was down. Hey, black guy riding around, old school Corolla, you know what I mean? Hey, let me just check him, let me just see what's going on here. And, I mean, like I said, I don't want to incriminate myself for anything because...
Yeah, we understand.
It's basically...
Eris claims that Sergeant Gary had no reason to pull him over and that he had been profiled. It's true that sometimes officers will see someone who looks a certain way, driving in a known drug area, and they will use any excuse possible to initiate a traffic stop. Their goal is to stop a crime before it takes place. In that type of situation, a good lawyer will show that the traffic stop was not valid, so all evidence taken after the fact should be thrown out.
That's what happened, you know what I mean? I didn't do anything wrong. Well, basically, I didn't approach him. He approached me for a random reason that didn't have anything to do with traffic violation. It didn't have anything to do with driving the wrong way. It didn't have anything to do with, me doing something outside of what I'm supposed to be doing on the road.
Right.
That's all that happened.
And all he said to you when you got out of the car, get out of the car, did you see the lights?
He put the lights, get out of the car.
Like on a speaker thing?
No, he got out of the car, was like, get out of the car. Like, he pulled me over and was like, did you like, get out of the car? And I don't have good, somebody forcing me to get out of my current place is not something that works well with me, you know what I mean? First, and that's something to leave it at that. So I wasn't doing anything criminally wrong. I wasn't doing anything criminally wrong. I wasn't doing anything traffic violation. Besides, like I said, I'm working on getting my license. I'm getting a DUI, taking a DUI class, or not DUI, but like the traffic class to get my license and everything situated. But I was working on it. I've been paying tickets, and I just went to court last week. The judge was like, okay, when you bring that paperwork in, you're fine. So I mean, I'm not really supposed to be driving,
but it's only a misdemeanor.
Yeah, a misdemeanor. Right?
And no, I mean, you had no drugs in the car. You didn't have anything to be worried about. The worst thing he could have done is give you a ticket for a misdemeanor driving on a suspended license, or I guess you could take.
Or the worst thing he could have did was
arrest you for that,
or said, "What the hell are you doing down the car?" and shot me.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, that driving shit. The worst you could do, no, that shit adds up. That shit costs. You don't get your license back for a long time. Every time you get niggas don't like that. We want to get our license back one day. You know what I mean? Shit, sometime. So I'm still not getting the whole story, but I'm listening. But I'm just chiming in and saying how that license stuff is very serious. Okay, they can pull you over anytime. They can harass you anytime. You go to jail anytime. I mean, I ain't gonna call it harassment. You know what I mean? But if they see, let's say you just own the car, you know what I mean, which is crazy. If you ain't got no license, I guess you ain't supposed to own the car either, because they can pull it over even if you're not driving it. You know what I mean? Oh, well, we saw that somebody who didn't have a license is registered to this car. You know what I mean? So that license shit is not no joke.
Down or anything, or
tell me that's an interesting comment you make. Tell me why you think like that.
The detective wants him to elaborate on how he felt as he was being pulled over. The goal here is to show that not only was Eris not doing anything wrong, but also he was not in fear for his life. This shows the jury that he had no reason at all to take Sergeant Gary's life, and that he is just a monster.
Because it's not. All right, I'm gonna say it like this, and like I said, I know you're probably recording. Are you guys recording?
Yeah, of course.
I have respect for law enforcement. I have respect for, authority. But it's just danger is danger. If you feel that you're in danger, you're in danger. Mm-hmm. Period. And I'll leave it at that.
Now, I didn't see him. I was not even nowhere near him. I didn't see you till I walked in here. It's the first time I ever saw you. Mm-hmm. I was 30 miles away when all this went down this morning. How was he dressed?
Like an officer.
He was in his uniform? He wasn't in, like, raid gear like Cash would wear or anything like that?
No, I seen a gun. That's what I seen.
Okay. Was it in his hand or in his holster?
I just seen a gun, man. I'm going to leave it at that.
When he walked up to you mean?
I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay.
That's, you know what I mean? Like I said, certain things I'll answer, certain things I won't.
Okay, we respect that.
You know, but,
all you got to do...
Tell me what am I charged? What am I charged for?
All you got to do is tell us whenever you don't want to talk. I want to make sure you're clear about that. We're just trying... You told the deputy you want to tell your story. We want to give you that opportunity.
That's all. Only thing to my story is I'm here and I wasn't doing anything criminally wrong.
I mean, I'm looking at you. You're sober. Mm-hmm. I don't think you've been drinking or on any kind of drugs, right? You don't have, you have mental issues? You don't have any mental health, right?
No mental.
Are you smart? Did you go to high school?
No, graduated 25.
Well, I know, I'm not saying now, but did you go?
Yeah, graduated high school.
Where'd you go to high school?
At William T. Dwyer, in Jupiter also.
And Dwyer grad.
The detective is showing the jury that Aris had not been drinking or using any illegal drugs, and he had not been diagnosed with any mental health issues. This shows the jury that he took Sergeant Gary's life with a clear mind, which is much scarier than someone who had committed the same crime because they weren't in the right state of mind.
Now, what are you doing up? How long have you been up here?
For some years. That's just migrated. That's a long story. But,
all right, Dwyer. Did you go to college too?
Am I charged with anything, or obviously I'm charged with anything?
Obviously, you're under arrest.
Under arrest.
We haven't exactly worked out what the charges are yet, but obviously you're under arrest.
Okay. How does that work? Or like, how long will I be in here, or where will I be going?
I can't tell you how long you're going to be in here.
Is it like
you'll be going to the sentencing
county jail, right? Be booked in as some kind of charge against me.
Why would you say murder?
Not murder, or a shooting, or whatever.
Fleeing and eluding.
Fleeing and eluding, whatever attempting, whatever. You didn't even tell me what I'm being detained for. It could be for driving, it could be for fleeing and eluding, it could be for anything. So obviously you're trying to put something on me, so if that was the case, then you should ask why I did what I did, you would ask, what I did, why I did what I did, or whatever, I don't know what you detectives like to ask, because you haven't even told me what I'm charged with.
And we haven't asked you that. Why did you do what you did?
Because I was in fear of my life, you know what I mean, and I wanted to be able to breathe another day, or just be able to not be put in a position of like, be at the disposal of another human being, you know what I mean, for something I had no, you know what I mean, I didn't know, the way he approached me, man, was so abrasive, it was like, or so aggressive, with all his armor and body on.
Why didn't you keep driving after the first stop? So you stopped the first time, and then you take off, and that's fleeing and eluding, big deal, okay? You take off. Why did you stop that second time? Why didn't you just keep going?
He made me stop. He forced me to stop. He ran my car.
Oh, okay. You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, he ran my car.
He hit your car?
Yeah, he ran me off of the road while I'm just trying to.
Gotcha.
So, I mean,
that's why we're here. We're just trying to understand.
I know you. I mean, it's not like you're trying to help me, obviously.
No.
But I mean, you're just trying, obviously, but you're trying to get.
We're trying to get the facts. We're trying to get the facts. You said several times that we're trying to put stuff on you. That's not the case.
Okay.
We're trying to gather the facts so we can put the puzzle together.
Okay.
All the pieces are there. We just got to put it together. But what you got to remember that is at some point in time in the future, you're going to want to tell your story. Mm-hmm. And if your story doesn't match up with what the evidence out there shows, then that's not good. So this is the best time for you to tell your stories when it's right here fresh in your mind. Because in 6 months or a year or 18 months, you're going to be like, man,
that's all I have to say is just,
you like that time.
you know, I was in fear of my life. Period, man.
All right. Can we talk about you? If we don't talk about that for a minute, can we talk about you? Where you living? Who you living with? Your girlfriend?
Else to talk about that and just, you know, until y'all can tell me what's going on, you know, outside of this room. I don't know.
Well, and we're investigating. So I mean, truthfully, we don't know exactly what all's going on yet. What do you want to know? If we can tell you, we'll tell you. You got.
What am I? When you take me to, if you take me down to jail, what am I going to be booked, or what charges am I facing?
All right, let me. What do you think? What do you think we're going to arrest you for?
I don't know.
Just take a guess. Take a guess.
I would like for you to tell me that, please, if you don't mind.
Okay. Did you discharge a firearm today?
I mean, can you like?
Well, I'm trying to give you a clue.
I mean, I don't have a law book, so I don't know.
Okay.
What statute?
Right, let's start at the bottom. Driving with no license.
Mm-hmm.
Which is where the whole thing started. Fleeing to elude a law enforcement officer. That was the second step in the process. Okay. For sure. Okay. And what do you think after that?
I mean, I would like for you to tell me.
Okay. Shooting at a police officer. I mean, let's quit playing games. Shooting at a police officer.
Yeah, they're getting frustrated.
You're going to be arrested for that.
That's the charge I'm going.
Yeah, you're going to be arrested for shooting at a police.
Yeah, they're getting mad. They're getting pissed off right now because you were just talking. Now you're acting stupid.
Officer.
Aris would be charged with first-degree murder, and he would take the case to trial. He was hoping that he would beat the charges, even after admitting to guilt during his interrogation.
On February 28th in the morning of 2013, this defendant ambushed Sergeant Gary Morales, murdering him in cold blood as he sat in the driver's seat of his patrol car.
Whoa.
The evidence in this case is going to show that Sergeant Morales never had a chance. This defendant had all the tactical advantage, and he took it and decided to kill Sergeant Morales. Gary Morales and his lieutenant talked about a day or so before about the Silver Lakes neighborhood where this happened, and talked about an increase in minor crimes, car burglaries, vandalism, minor thefts. And they thought it'd be a good idea to get out in front of that by doing some proactive police work, proactive patrolling, you'll hear some of the deputies refer to it as. Showing a presence in the neighborhood, being there and stopping cars for traffic infractions. And you're going to hear from a lot of the deputies that are involved in this case that they were actually out at a traffic stop.
Ooh, I see what they're doing. Even though he got stopped for nothing, yeah. But we're doing this because it was an increase in crime over here, and we can prove it. And that's why he was getting stopped for nothing, because we profiling on him.
At a routine traffic stop when this happened with another person in St. Lucie County in that Silver Lakes area. And what you're going to hear is that Sergeant Morales got his group together, his team of guys that he supervised, and they talked about that morning about this neighborhood, and that they were going to work this neighborhood and do exactly that, what we call proactive patrolling, stopping people for minor traffic infractions, figuring out who's in the neighborhood, who should be there, who doesn't live there, who doesn't have a reason to be driving through there. And if they see a traffic infraction that they might ordinarily let drive on by, make the stop. And that's what they were doing that day. And as I said, you're going to hear that all around this neighborhood there were deputies out with motorists at the time that this happened. The evidence is going to show, and we know that Sergeant Morales was on Canner, turning left onto Muro Drive when he turned his lights on to stop the defendant. The evidence is going to be that the defendant, about 3/4 of the way up the block, on his brakes. The defendant got out of his car and took his gun, his fully loaded .45, and started after Sergeant Morales. And there was nothing Gary Morales could do. The defendant fired a shot right as he was right out the door, and you'll see the evidence that shot hit the back of Sergeant Morales' car right where the gas tank is. And then he pressed his tactical advantage. He had Sergeant Morales in the car while the defendant's getting out and shooting. Sergeant Morales, you'll hear, was having a heck of a time trying to get out. He's pushing the door open. He's struggling either with his seatbelt or trying to get his gun, trying to get the car in park or in gear. He's clearly having a heck of a time trying to get out. And as he's doing that, the defendant is running towards his open door, because as I said, Sergeant Morales kicked the door open. He's running towards his open door and advancing with each shot and fired multiple shots into Sergeant Morales.
This nigga crazy.
Arice was convicted of all charges, and the judge gave him the death penalty. Unfortunately, the laws have changed since he was convicted. Now, under the new state law, death penalties can only be applied if the jury agrees unanimously. For now, he is still alive, sitting in prison, waiting to be told when his last day alive will be. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time here on the Red Tree Crim YouTube channel.
Wow. Now, that nigga crazy. Knows that. You get out the car, so you get pulled over, man. If you're gonna do it, that's how you're gonna do it, I guess. Sorry for that officer's family. That's rough. That's really tough. Want y'all tune in next time. I'm gonna be doing a couple of these every day. If you like them, push the react button. I'll do another one. But check out Red Tree Crim if you can't wait for me to do a reaction to it and see what I gotta say about it. So y'all have a great day. Holla back.